Welcome. You're listening to the Veterans Chat Series here on Heart of a Volunteer Veterans Podcast. Join us as we have conversations with veterans about life, hobbies, veteran hacks, VA news, veteran-owned business promotion, and much, much more. Welcome to the show and enjoy the episode. Well. Welcome back. Everybody, to another Veterans Chat here on Heart of a Volunteer Veterans Podcast. This is Veterans Chat number 6, and I'm your host, Chris. Well, hey, we have got 2 returning veteran co-hosts coming. You already know the resident host that's here at LZ Ranger, Dan Hurd's with us. Dan, welcome.
Always a pleasure, man.
And we have got a Saga episode veteran here with us doing her first Veterans Chat. Christie Douglas from Saga episode 25. Christie, welcome to the Veterans Chat.
Hey there. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm excited that you're here.
Very, very surprising that she called and said she was coming to see her brother in Dallas and was going to come by and see us on the way back to Stillwater or back to
Manford
up around Tulsa and do a little bit of podcast work at the same time.
Right.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah, much appreciated doing the intro stuff for Movement Monday.
That's right. If you don't know, folks, Christie is the voice of the intro for Movement Monday, and she does a great job. We just got 3 more intros recorded, so be looking out for those on Movement Monday. So let's talk about, we've been apart for a while, all 3 of us together.
Yeah, it's been just over a year now.
It has been.
Uh-huh.
November 19th, that's when we all kind of hooked up.
That was the day that I arrived.
So let's talk about this trifecta connection that we got.
Yeah. So, you and I, we're at school at Oklahoma State University, and we're both part of the Student Veteran Organization.
Go Veteran Pokes.
Yeah. And about a little more than a year ago, you started the Heart of a Volunteer Veteran Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I was your second guest on the podcast.
That's right.
Yep. Second guest when you were still recording in the studio at OSU.
Right. With the old equipment and everything else.
Yep.
I'm glad we got your Saga episode re-recorded.
Mm-hmm.
It sounded much, much better.
Yeah, for sure.
So, Christie, how did Dan get into our equation?
Yeah.
Well, do you want me to tell about that to start it? Let me start it.
Jump in there.
So I was coming through Stillwater. I was trying to find a place to stay, trying to find bike shops, I always talk to like the news and media, stuff like that. And I was just having some time where I needed to get some food. So I stopped at some restaurant, Jimmy Egg, I think it's called. Yeah. So I went to Jimmy Egg, was sitting there having breakfast by myself. And there was a gentleman a couple seats away from me kind of doing his own thing. And I struck up a conversation, told him what I was doing. For suicide awareness. He's like, man, and you're a veteran? I was like, yeah, dude. And he's like, dude, you have to go to the, Success Veterans?
The Vet Success Center.
Yeah, so he told me to go there. He gave me directions, and he told me who to meet, but I forgot on my way there. So I walk into the building, and I see Christie.
Yeah, so I was a VA work study student in the Veterans Success Center,
mm-hmm.
and Dan walks in and says, hey, my name's Dan, and I'm bicycling across the lower 48 states for suicide awareness. I was like, wow, that's really incredible. And I met this guy, and he told me I got to come here and see you guys. I was like, that's great. And he said something about a podcast. I was like, yeah, that's Chris. I was like, hold on, let me text him right now. And you were in class.
I was up on the 3rd floor of the classroom building was it the North Classroom building?
Uh-huh.
And was getting ready to take every class, we opened up that class with a quiz. And I had to do the quiz, right? And so I just did that and then popped out. And then Dan and I met. And we went over and did a Veterans Chat.
Yep, we went to the treehouse.
That's right. Now, where did you go from there? From when you left the studio, where did you head from there?
So from there, I went to my host that I had in Stillwater, another cyclist in town that was awesome to me. And I ended up spending, I got there on the 19th. I spent the 20th, and I left on the 21st. So I stayed for a couple days there.
Right.
And it was, just kind of exploring, checking things out, checking a lot of the university itself.
Right.
But from there, I got on the road and I made it to Christie's house.
That's right.
Well, I didn't make it. I actually had some issues and called in reinforcements.
Yeah. So when Dan was telling me about his journey and what he does, I said, "So where are you headed next?" And he's like, "Well, I'm headed towards Tulsa." And I said, "Hey, I live between here and Tulsa." I was like, "Do you have any hosts on the way there?" No. I was like, "Well, do you want to stay with me?" And I was a little nervous. I'm like, here's this guy, right? And he's a complete stranger. And he's like, but he had his little business cards. He's like, "No, I'm legit. Look, check out my business card. And there's a website and everything. Like, I promise." Right. So I called my significant other. I was like, "Hey, there's this guy, Dan. Here's what he's doing. I'm like, can he stay with us?" He's like, "Yeah, I don't care." And so I gave him the directions to my house, and he came over the next day. And the funny thing is I was headed, it's almost an hour drive from Stillwater to Manford. So he told me when he was leaving campus, and as I was driving home to Manford, I passed Dan on his bicycle. I was like, and I never realized how many very large and long rolling hills are on the way to Manford. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is going to be such an awful bike ride for him. And so when I saw him on the side of the road, I felt so, I was like, man, I wish I could just pick him up now. But he was just trucking along on his bike and doing his thing, and he texted me that he had stopped somewhere for lunch.
Oh, so yeah, I wasn't even at the halfway point because I stopped in Yale, I think it was. What was it, Muggsy's? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I stopped at Muggsy's for lunch, and I left, I think, like 4 hours before she said she was going to get out of school.
Right.
And she drove by me before I stopped for lunch, and I didn't know it because she didn't want to, I think she didn't want to bother me.
Yeah.
Stay in my focus.
I kind of wanted to honk, but I was like, well, if I honk, I'll startle him. So I'll just, send my good vibes over there. I see you.
Yeah. And this was all before the trailer.
Yeah, this was all before the trailer.
This was like early start, Oklahoma State. What would that be?
Ooh, I would say it was like 37, but don't quote me on that. I don't know off the top of my head. But yeah, it was still up there. It was, I had already done the Appalachian Mountains. I've done the local mountains along the way, and I'd done plenty of climbing. But it was definitely before adding another 150 pounds of weight to my setup and everything else.
So Christie, I've had Dan here at LZ Ranger for
5 weeks now.
5 weeks, and I got to tell you, I go to bed every night with my belly happy. Mm-hmm. And
I bet you do.
And I got an Instapot like right before Dan got here as a gift. Somebody donated it to us basically so we could eat. And he has been blazing a trail of chow. Do you have any recipes that he threw down at your place?
I tell you what, everybody listen up. Dan made the best meatloaf I have ever eaten in my entire life. Yeah, so
that's an honor, by the way. Thank you.
Yes, like of my entire life. It was so good. It had bacon, it had cheese, it had breadcrumbs, it had onions. I know I'm forgetting a lot, but it was literally the best meatloaf I ever had. Because I was like, hey, what do we want to do for dinner? And he's like, how about meatloaf? I was like, oh, I'm not cooking meatloaf because the last time was an epic fail. So you can cook it. Let's go get the groceries. And it was amazeballs. Let me just tell you.
He can throw down some chow.
Yes.
And I don't know. You know what? For me, I'm not used to that. Like somebody coming and being like, hey, I'm gonna cook this tonight with this and this here. I was gonna throw a little parsley on top, and it's gonna be delicious. And just kind of looking at him like, what? That doesn't make any sense to me. And then he cooks it, and it makes even less sense because I'm overloaded with just great tasting food.
Well, I love that every time I start cooking, you're like, oh man, that just smells. I can't even wait to taste it because it smells amazing already.
Well, dude, I was in the studio yesterday. You did a 15 bean soup.
Yeah,
with ham hock and potatoes and chicken broth and everything. He comes in here to tell me that it's almost done, and he comes in. I'm like, "Is the soup done?" Yeah, I was just coming to tell you. I can smell it on you in the
Nice.
studio. So, I shut everything down. We went in and ate like 4 or 5 bowls.
Dude.
We vegged hard yesterday after that because it was,
Yeah, it was like 3:00 in the afternoon. We were still, it was daylight. We usually don't turn the TV on until dark.
yeah.
And we just vegged out. I had 2 or 3 bowls. I think you had 4 or 5.
Yeah, and then it
I'm
just
glad
kind of...
I wasn't visiting you guys yesterday with all those bowls of beans.
No, nothing like that.
No, not until it was bedtime. Then you heard us.
Yeah, yeah. Great time, though. Great time. Then we got into, what did we watch? That last show we were watching on Apple TV.
Dude, I had it in my head until you just said it. It's crazy.
Dang it.
I had it.
Amazing Stories was one of them, and then we watched The Greyhound.
Yeah, we
That's a
watched
great movie,
Greyhound,
too.
which was a great movie. We watched, for a few minutes, we watched Fireball, Visitors from the Dark Side of the World or something like that.
Yeah,
I
then
don't know.
C. We were watching C with
Yeah, we watched
with
C.
Aquaman. That's crazy. That's
Was
a
that-
crazy idea.
Yeah, with Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Like a couple of centuries ago, a virus hits
Taking away.
mankind and only leaves 2 million people alive. And the people that are alive, they're blind. It's like changed their DNA and all their offspring are blind. But they still do like battle as if they were like clans. But there's ropes like leading them everywhere they go. They're always like blind people, but they're fighting people. It's crazy.
They also, it was crazy because of the hearing and everything else being so intensified, they could almost like hearing visually see.
And smell miles away.
Yeah. Like
Wow.
we hear
Great
the
show.
kid crying 10 miles away from here.
Yeah, great show.
What was the other? I can't remember the other one that we were watching.
I can't either, man. Good stuff though. Hey, so folks, if you got like the 3 months free of Apple TV, or you just bought the iPhone or the iPad Pro or whatever, and you get it free, go watch it because it's definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. They got some pretty good shows on there. All right, so Christie, we were talking about how we met there at the university. I graduated last May. You just graduated.
Yeah, officially yesterday.
Let's talk about that. And congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Because
You too.
that is it's no easy feat, right? Going in after you've served and then, having just the rest of life and then jumping into school. So congratulations.
Thank you. It was really intimidating. I've been doing one class at a time for years. Gosh, I got out of high school in 1997, so that'll kind of give you a clue as to how old I am. But I made the decision to quit my full-time job and finally go to school full-time because I knew if I kept taking one class at a time, I would just never finish.
Right.
So going to a university as 40 plus years old college student, it was a little intimidating. I felt a little out of place, but I ended up getting my Bachelor of Science in Business Administration with a focus on human resource management. So I'm looking to be in HR, or my real desire is to work with some sort of organization where I'm serving veterans.
Right.
I just applied this week for a job at the VA, as well as a bunch of other jobs. So,
Like over in Muskogee?
in Tulsa.
In Tulsa.
Yep, the VA office in Tulsa.
Awesome.
Very cool. You know what, Christy, I hope you get it because we really do need more veterans that have kind of a fresh feel they're bringing to the VA.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
I think Dan's seen it. Dan's been going to VA hospitals and clinics since he's been here. He's been a few times.
Yep.
And it's a different feel when you're dealing with another veteran
Absolutely.
in there. So I definitely hope you get in there.
Yeah, the job that I applied for, it actually doesn't even require a degree.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, there's no human resource positions open. But my counselor told me that the key is to getting into the VA and getting a government job, because then when you have your GS level, whatever,
Yeah.
it's easier to move around in the organization. So if I can get a shoe-in, that would be great.
That's all you need.
And
Yeah.
it would be a job basically screening veterans and helping them to determine, what benefits they qualify for.
That's
Well-
always good.
Yeah.
I might be coming to talk to you at some point.
Yeah. I'm going to learn a lot if I get that job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey, you're talking about benefits. I know we were talking earlier about some benefit changes that the VA made for voc rehab. Can you talk a little bit about that, some of the changes?
Yeah. Because of coronavirus, and I was on Invoke Rehab, and they pay for your tuition, they pay for your fees, they pay for your books, they pay for your school supplies. I even got a laptop and a printer. I mean, they took really good care of me. And, you get a monthly subsistence, just like when you're on, a GI Bill or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was getting really worried because, it's graduation time and it's coronavirus and the pandemic, and it's not a very good time to be graduating college and looking for a job. The jobs,
Right.
I mean, there's people applying for lower level jobs that have, PhDs. There's just not a lot of jobs out there right now. And what I found out as I neared graduation, my Voc Rehab counselor said, well, we've got this program where you can keep getting your monthly subsistence as long as you check these boxes. Send us this job log that you're doing, work with your counselor that's going to help place you into a job, do these little things. And she said that normally that subsistence support only lasts 2 months. So basically, you have a 2-month grace period to keep getting your monthly allowance while you're looking for a job. So that was really comforting to know. But because of coronavirus, they changed it to 4 months. So that really took off a lot of pressure and stress on me. Like, gosh, here I am. I graduated yesterday and I still don't have a job yet. But I'm looking, I'm applying, I'm interviewing. So really, 4 months from yesterday, going forward, I can get benefits for another 4 months. So it's really, I think it's amazing that they're doing that because it does take off a lot of the pressure to find a job and knowing that I can still support myself for a little while.
Definitely. And if you're going to be sliding into the VA system, especially like you said, in this environment we're in now, a lot of people working from home, a lot of people aren't hiring. So at least this is kind of an offset, and then of course I think we've got the vaccine shipped out today.
Yeah, I think they started doing that to Texas, right? They're shipping them
down
here?
to Houston, the largest hospital in the country or something like that. So maybe at the end of 4 months, things will kind of balance a little bit. It'll be, so maybe that's perfect. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, hey, let's take a quick break, and we'll come right back. Here we go. Hey, I know what you're doing over there. Talking to your coworkers about work. Boring. The weather? Even worse. All along, avoiding the real topic you want to talk about. You're practically bursting at the seams to talk about every episode of Heart of Volunteer Veterans Podcast. All amazing veterans. Every episode. Veteran gold. Yeah. Go have that chat. Enjoy the rest of the episode. All right, everybody. Hey, welcome back. Welcome back to the show. Love those mid reels. Remember, folks, you got to like, share, and subscribe, and comment on the episodes. Share it with people. Let them know that the podcast's out there, and we got great veterans that are coming on. So we've got some bit of noise here in the studio. It's raining here at the lake, but I think we're doing all right.
Yeah.
Sounds all right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the software makes it sound pretty good. And I think this is the third time I've dealt with rain since I've been in Texas.
Yeah. We're definitely getting some rain. They got snow up in Oklahoma.
Yes.
Did you get pictures of that?
Yeah, I think there's a couple inches already.
Yeah. I got a couple of pictures this morning. It looks beautiful. Mm-hmm. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, so Christie, what else do you got going on in the future? You're on the job search.
Yep.
What are you doing with your free time now that you don't have school?
Gosh, well, let's see.
Coming
here and seeing you. That was on my agenda. The first thing I was like, as soon as I'm done with school and I graduate, I'm gonna come down and visit you guys. Like that's number one on the agenda. So you guys were my first thing I did after I graduated.
Well, I'm glad your brother was buying a Lamborghini down in Dallas and you got a chance to come down.
Well,
yeah, that's crazy. So my brother and I are 3 years apart. We're both in our 40s, and magically, we all the years of going back to school, we graduated the exact same day. And so I texted him yesterday and I was like, hey, bro, congratulations on graduating. He's like, hey, I'm in Dallas right now. I said, what? That's like 4.5 hours away from me. He's like, yeah, I'm buying myself a graduation present. And I was like, what? He's like, I'm getting a car. And he's like, guess what kind of car I'm getting? I don't know. He's like, come on, think back to our childhood. What have I always wanted? I was like,
Right.
dude, are you getting a Lamborghini? He's like, yeah, I'm buying a Lamborghini. So even though he just graduated, he's really a genius and he's done really well in life. He's
Yeah.
super smart and has had really good jobs. I think this degree thing was just a formality for him.
Right.
But yeah, so he literally bought a Lamborghini yesterday. And that was awesome. And so, yeah, we just celebrated and had a nice dinner and had some good drinks. And then I drove up here to hang out with you guys. But as far as going forward in my free time, I mean, I do my boot camp thing. I do strength training and boot camp just for like my physical and mental health, because I've been doing school and my internship at home since March. And that's the one thing that's really kept me sane. And I try to preach to everyone that like talks about being depressed or being down. Like, dude, the two number one things you need in life is exercise and sunshine. Like, just get outside and just go for a walk if you're feeling down. And not that I'm an expert, but I know it makes you feel so much better. If you spend a whole day on the couch and you just feel lazy and blah, but if you get outside and get moving and get some fresh air, you just feel better and you're in a better mood. So for me, I'm just trying to get a job. I got some projects around the house. I started resurfacing and painting cabinets about a year and a half ago. So Victor's going to be happy. My boyfriend Victor's going to be happy that I'm going to finally finish that project, because I've only been able to work on it between semesters, like when I had 2 weeks off or something like that, just because there's so much to do in school. So yeah, I'm going to work on the cabinets and try to get, it's the new year, so try to get dialed in on the diet and the healthy food, right? To try to work on that too, because I haven't gotten COVID-19, but I might have gotten the COVID-19 pounds, maybe.
So Christie, I see a lot of pictures of you working out and stuff. What's your favorite movement during the pandemic? Or your routine?
I really like strength training, so I do boot camp 3 days a week, which is more like body weight movements, calisthenics, things like that. And then I do like Olympic lifting, basically, CrossFit, a cross between CrossFit and Olympic style lifts. So it's a group of us. There's 5 girls, and it's just we support each other. There's like no judgment if you can't do something or you don't do a good job that day. It's just like so supportive, and it's not like a judgy place where everyone's like, judging your outfit or judging your form or whatever. Right. And I really like jump roping. I'm trying to work on double unders. It's really tricky.
Right.
Getting the timing for that, and I like what's it called? Dumbbell snatches.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love dumbbell snatch, especially with like 35 pound dumbbell. I don't know, you just feel like a badass when you're doing it. So yeah, that's what I've got going on. Just trying to get a job, focus on my health, and that's about it. So what about you, Dan?
Well, it depends. Like right now, I'm just hanging out, chilling, but a lot of my stuff right now has, been halted, as you know. So thankfully, I got the Movement Monday podcast series going on, getting strong and coming out with some really good stuff. Mm-hmm. And so that's keeping me busy. Otherwise, I think I would be an emotional mess, to be honest.
You know what? It does my heart so good to see you here. After seeing everything on social media with your wreck and the shape that you were in, and just listening to your heartfelt chats that you're just putting everything out there with your feelings and the things that you were going through, and it really tugged on my heart. And when I saw you hurting and like struggling emotionally and physically, I just cried. I was like, man, my friend Dan, I just feel so awful for him. And I was so, I messaged Chris and I was like, dude, Chris, we got to do something. We got to help him. Like, what can we do? And you're like, hey, no, I got it. I was like, Chris, I love you so much. I'm so glad that you can do something. And it's just like the trifecta. I was like, look what happened, because you stopped and ate breakfast, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I was working in the Veterans Success Center. We're going to school, and I knew Chris from doing the podcast. And that made it possible for you to have this place here and to have this new purpose and this new mission and to be healing. And I'm so glad to see you smiling. And it just, like, I really, really mean it. Like, I'm so happy that you have a place that is safe. And I don't know. I'm sorry.
No.
Very cool.
It's awesome. And seeing you excited and emotional about it, it makes me very excited. And I'm so thankful to have you guys part of my network and everything as well. But I got to do a huge shout out to it's Elliot, right? The guy that I was having breakfast with. Yeah. So I got to do a huge shout out to Elliot because none of this would have happened without him.
Yeah.
And the fact that, everything, I look at things, everything happens for a reason. The fact that days before my accident, Chris was like, man, when you get done, when you need a break, come hang out. Mm-hmm. Sure, we didn't think it was going to happen as soon as it did.
A couple of days later.
But, I'm thankful for all those connections, and I'm thankful that everything works out the way it's supposed to, even if I don't know it or see it at that moment. And I think that's a lot of what a lot of us as people that are listening that have to realize is sometimes we don't understand what's going on, and just go with the flow and figure it out as you go. And by the time you realize it, everything that had just happened was meant to happen for the moment that you're coming up on. And, for a long time, I think I pushed podcasting to the side because I was overwhelmed with everything else that I had going on. And, Chris was consistent about saying, dude, you have a message to share it, do a podcast.
Absolutely.
And I think as bad as it is, I think that I had to go through that accident to be able to realize that I could do something like this and really get people to show that even if your chapter isn't to where you want it to be finished to get to the next chapter, sometimes you have to start the next chapter to come back and finish the last one.
Right.
And that's how, for instance, outlining,
right.
something I hated doing. I won't say I hate it anymore because I think it's very useful, especially for staying on track and everything else. But I struggled with it, and the more I got into it, the better I got comfortable with it. But it was just all these different aspects that just made it better. So,
Dan, I always look at it this way, man. It's like when I met you, you were, a really nice guy. You know what I mean? We had only talked for a couple of minutes, and I was like, "Hey, let's go to the studio and do an episode."
Yep.
And you pushed your bike. We talked on the way there. We got to the house. Of course, we just kind of relaxed a little bit, got to know each other. But the whole thing is, man, it's like I tell people, it's be kind. Be kind to people because you never know when you're going to need compassion.
Yep.
And the thing is, man, you are always good to me, always good to other people.
He's so genuine.
Yeah, so
it's impossible not to like him when you meet him.
So doing things for you, man, it doesn't. It just, once again, it just kind of completes the circle. It just completes the circle. It feels great.
Again, I'm thankful for it. I encourage people to be kind and be willing to listen and talk about their issues that they're dealing with. And I think that's part of it, is getting those conversations, and kindness is part of all that. Mm-hmm. So I'm thankful that I have that ability to be as kind as I am to so many people. And I'm thankful, again, that it reflects back to me when I need it the most, especially in these times. But, man, I'm looking forward to getting back on a bicycle. I miss being outside and being active as much as I was. And obviously right now it's uncomfortable to be sitting outside with the pains that I'm dealing with and just not finding ways to be comfortable. So I'm just making the best of what I have now, and I'm taking it one step at a time. I look forward to getting rid of the cane that I have and be able to bend my legs again and just getting back at it, what I call one pedal at a time, but living in that moment. And I'm still doing that.
Well, we'll get you dialed in, man. Once you can start bending your knee, we'll get you on the trek. We'll get it mounted so you can sit there and pedal for, as long as you can comfortably, and then get off and get back on, Oh,
of course. Yeah. Once I get that bend going and once I get the doctor approval that I can start reconditioning the leg, I'm going to be doing it.
Yeah. Good deal.
Hey, but we're talking about futures and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, I feel like we're leaving you out.
I don't have one.
Yeah.
No.
Well, so future-wise, I don't want to talk about too much, but I know that you have one thing planned definitely for the future, and that's to come on Movement Mondays to talk about HOV.
Definitely. Heart of Volunteer Veterans Podcast, it's a movement. It's a movement to bring veterans together, to communicate, to share ideas on how we're living out here in the wild. Getting back to college, right? That's how it all started, talking to veterans about getting back to college and getting that education, getting it to the next level. So I'd love to share that, man, on Movement Monday.
Yeah.
Share it with your listeners.
Totally off subject. Since you guys just graduated college, I feel I'm the youngest one in the room, by the way, besides the dogs.
Mm-hmm.
But I graduated.
Magnus is older than you.
Yeah, technically he is. But dude, I graduated in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
I have my bachelor's in business management.
That's
Congratulations,
awesome. I didn't know
man.
that.
Yeah.
So
3 college grads up in here.
yeah.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, no, I felt like I was left out earlier, so I wanted to throw that in there. But go ahead. Sorry.
No, man,
Sorry
that's
about
good.
cutting off your future.
No, it's the podcast is what it is. We try to do what we can, just helping veterans. We've got some veterans that have been doing psychedelic research with universities and organizations. They're going to be coming on and having some talks because there's a lot of stuff going on with neurogenesis for PTSD and TBIs. That's very important for veterans. So we're definitely going to be covering some of that.
I'm really excited about hearing about those episodes, by the way.
I am too, because they're doing. It's not just some backcountry stuff. These are real folks. These are real folks, and they're connected with some really great people and some organizations. So spreading that word out there, because you never know when you got that veteran that just that other treatments just don't work.
Yep.
And everybody deserves that right to live a happy life. So we definitely got to get that information out.
So what else you got going on in the future besides the podcast for HOV, for Heart of Volunteer?
It would be here at the house, man, trying to get some tiny homes put in, and basically just have veterans just coming in and relax and decompressing. LZ Ranger, man, it's just a landing zone. It's a place to land, get a little R&R, take off with a smile on your face. So if we can get something like that going, we'll be doing pretty good.
Nice. And I think for the listeners out there, at some point you got to become a nonprofit, man. So
One day.
But it's going to happen with supporters. So
Yeah.
if you guys are out there listening to this and you guys want to support that and help get that going, I think that it's getting close to time, man.
It's getting close. I still got some more folks I need to engage because I need board members, and I need people to have detailed skills in their areas, and I need them to be a part of it because we're going to be moving fast once it starts. So
Absolutely.
don't want to get too crazy, but yeah. Well, what else we got? Are we gonna have a bite to eat now that we're done? Are we gonna break some bread together?
Should we do that? Should I feast it up?
I don't know. After all that talk about your meatloaf, it made me kind of hungry.
Yeah. I think we should probably grab a little chow. Let's grab a little chow. We'll sit around and chit chat a little bit. We got 3 intros done, Christy?
Yep.
For Movement Monday. Dan's happy with them, so
Absolutely.
we're going to be good to go there. And I think this episode's done. So yeah, we'll do that. We'll do it. Well, Christy, thank you for stopping in and having a talk with us.
Hey, I'm so glad that I got the opportunity to come. I've been looking forward to it.
I'm glad you came in.
I'm glad.
And once again, you and Victor are welcome here anytime. We'd love to have you and just hang out. The lake is beautiful. It's a lot of fun.
Awesome.
So come down anytime.
And let's not wait a year, guys, till we get the trifecta back together.
Yeah, we
Good
got to
call.
get it back together.
Good call.
Hey, everybody. Once again, this was Veterans Chat episode 06 with Christy Douglas, SOG episode 25. Check that episode out, folks. It's a great episode. And remember, like, share, and subscribe. We need comments. So comment on the episodes and let other people know what you think. That's how we get discovered. Once again, be kind. You never know when you're going to need compassion from somebody else. Stay blessed. Copyright Heart of Volunteer 2020.